Back to Sunrise Daily, coming to you live from our Abuja studio. We have the privilege this morning of speaking with Dr. Obi Ezekwesili, who is now a presidential candidate on the platform of the Allied Congress Party of Nigeria. You're welcome to the program, man.
Thank you very much, Aljuri.
Wow, you've been at the forefront of so many movements in the country, and some people have asked, when are you going to engage in politics? Now, of course, you have done that. What is your expectation in view of the fixation, for lack of a better term, on the top two parties in the country as it relates to having a prospect at actually winning a presidential election in Nigeria?
I'm in this election to win, and I'm not alone. I just saw this and I just chuckled to myself. This headline says it's Buhari versus Atiku. And me, I am just here to tell Nigerians that no, it's Buhari Atiku versus the Nigerian people who want a new nation, who want a nation that actually functions, a nation that is devoid of the misery, the ineptitude, the incompetence, and the failures that we have found ourselves trapped into. I am here because I do believe that except we fixed our politics, there is no place to expect anything different in terms of a better life for our children, our grandchildren, and for the ones that will come after them. I am here because I finally realized that our political class really don't care how much we talk. They believe that they can get away with anything, including blue murder. And enough is finally now enough. I am not running alone. The Nigerian people are running. We're the ones running. It's not Obi Ezekwesili. Nigerians are tired. If you are sitting at home and saying, I've been tired about this country, well, don't get tired. This is not time to agonize. This is time to organize to send these people home.
When you look at, some of the kind of permutations in this election coming up, you hear a lot about political structures. Mr. Ismail Ahmed was just here talking about the absence, if you will, of these kind of well-known political networks across the 774 local governments. What do you have to say to cynics who say that, look, it's great to have the passion and even the policy background to be president and an effective president, but without the structures, you're not going anywhere on election day? What are your thoughts?
Ajuri, do you know that the meaning of structures is actually Nigerian citizens who are willing to collaborate with those who give them misery? That's the definition of this structure they talk about. Now, imagine a situation where our own party, by the way, I'm running on the platform of Allied Congress Party of Nigeria, ACPN Hope. And our campaign is Hope 2019. So just imagine for a minute that in 2015 elections, only 28% of eligible Nigerians bothered to go and vote. What do you think they were saying to us? They were simply saying, I'm tired of voting for failure. So they stayed away. 72% of electorate that were ready, confirmed to go and vote, decided they are not voting. It is that base that is our structure. We have a better structure than they are boasting of. One of the things that I like about this campaign is that we're going to be hugely underestimated. And I always love to be underestimated.
When you look at the two men in focus, President Buhari and former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, what would you say about the implications of potentially each of their elections, potentially next year? What do you think is at stake in this election when you look at the top two candidates, at least in terms of what is in the public eye?
Nigeria is at stake. Should you go with any of these parties? These parties are the Siamese twins of failure. We have no reason to vote to continue to fail. What is at stake? Children who die when they shouldn't be dying, under the watch of a leader that came on the groundswell of being a tried and tested general that could work everything to give security to people. What's at stake is that the normalizing of killings across the country will simply just become our way permanently. What's at stake is that corruption becomes what we are permanently known for as a country. What's at stake are young people who have the potentials to rule the world in this global economy today, where it is about disruptive technologies and it's all about new economic structures driven by the kind of technologies that the world had never known before. Artificial intelligence, blockchain technologies, Internet of Things. We're talking about the era of data, big data, simulation science. We're talking about an era of second machine age that Africa missed and must not miss again. And if Africa won't miss it, it has to be Nigeria. That's what's at stake. The future of our people, our nation, our young people is at stake. We can't joke with that.
Before we get into some of your kind of policy prescriptions and proposals, I want to ask you about why it is, in your view, that if, in your view, President Buhari's administration has not lived up to expectations, why is it that you believe that former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, for example, cannot bring the change that you're referring to?
No, he can't bring the change we're referring to. That's the old politics. Nigeria is ripe for new kind of politics. The politics that I'm talking about is not the politics of, a corrupted elite class that corrupts the democratic process. I'm talking about a new kind of politics. Politics that says we can renew this nation. Every nation is determined, the rate of progress of every nation is determined by its dominant value. The dominant values of any society would determine the rate of progress. Lee Kuan Yew built an incredible country out of that knowledge. These ones that you talk about have decided that the dominant value has to be a value where money is the basis for everything. I'm talking about a nation, a new nation, where sacrificial leadership is what we put at the center of how people lead, and that citizens first, not politicians first, becomes the mantra of everyone in a place of leadership. So when you tell me, shouldn't we think of this or that, why should I choose the twin brother of a Siamese twin? I'm choosing the same thing.